Hey everyone, so I'm back again with another video, and this round I have some current and last gen video game pickups to show you guys, but all these games are actually last gen games, and mostly handhelds except for one loose disc 360 game that I'm going to save for the end. So to start out with, I have two games here that I got from the EB Games across the street from the Eden Center here in downtown Toronto. They had recently gotten a whole bunch of DS games traded in, which was a big surprise because they pretty much have had the same set of DS games at that store for a very long time, and most of them are just a loose cartridge in a generic case, so I've had no interest in them. But most of the games that they had traded in were Pokemon games that I already had, or other games that are still priced very high that I already had, so there was no point in me purchasing them to trade them towards something else. But I found these two here. One was under $2 and the other one was under $5, but the exact amounts I forget. The first game here, I actually technically have it already, but I have the Australian version of this. It was random finding that, but now I have the North American version as well. It's Worms Open Warfare, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this really. I don't know if I'll keep this one and trade off the Australian version, or maybe just keep both of them. Not entirely certain, but at least I got the North American version. It was only under $2. Now the other game that I got, this one here is a flight simulator made by Natsumi called Freedom Wings, and it looked interesting enough, but I don't know about it. It says that it's an action RPG, but it says a high-flying action RPG, so I don't know entirely how this will work out. It looks like it's supposed to be just a flight sim, but maybe it has some kind of RPG aspect to it, like leveling up stuff, but who knows really. I'd have to actually pop it in and play this game, and I haven't had a chance to do so yet. Next up is a game that I know little about, pretty much that it is a kind of collection of mini games, and it is a two-player game, well, 2 to 4 players, and it's a really weird game in the first place. Published by Sega. It is the Rub Rabbits, and it has mild violence and suggestive themes, and just by the name and the cover alone, you could probably assume what those suggestive themes might be. So I'm just going to leave that at that. Now the last handheld game that I got here, I got this from Game Mania. They had a whole bunch of DS games that the owner of the store had brought in from his own collection. It was pretty much just a bunch of really, really good games, but they were games that he no longer really needed in his collection or didn't really want anymore. He had a couple of games that were still sealed and a couple of copies of the exact same game still sealed. So I don't blame him in wanting to sort of put that out for sale. But most of the games were priced too high for me to actually buy multiple games, and I bought a couple of other things that day as well. So I just grabbed one of the DS games that he had there, and it is Space Invaders Extreme 2. Now, I'm assuming it's just updated Space Invaders, maybe different perspective, different level designs, and maybe different enemy characters. But I didn't even know that a first one was made, that Space Invaders Extreme was a thing. So then he had the first one and the second one, but the first one he wanted $25 for it, and the second one he wanted $20 for it. So I just went ahead and grabbed the second one, because I highly doubt that there's a story in a game like this. It's pretty much an arcade high score game. So yeah, I grabbed that. It's not a game that I've ever seen before or even heard of. So I thought, you know what, it's random enough that I'll pay a little bit more for it. Now, the last game that I got here, I pretty much took a risk on it, considering that it's not in the best condition, but for the price point, I thought, you know what, I'll try it. I got this at A&C Games. At the front of the store, they have a cardboard box filled with loose disc games for multiple consoles, as well as a couple of loose DS games. And I saw this here, and when I went to pay for my stuff at the register, the guy says, this can't be right. This shouldn't be in here. And he immediately starts typing into the computer there at the front of the store, whatever he was typing in. Then he goes to the back, speaks with, I'm assuming either somebody else that was working there, or he called up the manager or the owner of the store. And pretty much he comes back saying, like, oh yeah, the disc is scratched on this one. It plays, but like, oh, we're not charging full price for it. I'm like, as you should. You shouldn't be charging full price for something that's not in perfect condition. But for a moment there, I was thinking that he'd come back to me and tell me, oh no, this has been mispriced. It's actually more than $5. But he came back and said, yeah, it's $5. And I'm like, okay, good. That's what I thought it should be. It's a loose disc copy of Jurassic The Hunted for the 360. It's a kind of uncommon game. It was on the PS3 as well, I believe. But it's a little bit more common on the PS3 than the 360 version. And I mean, it's dinosaurs. What more can you say about it? I don't know why it's worth all that much, but apparently even a loose disc copy of this game can go for like $15, $20. But I'm going to be keeping this in my collection, and hopefully get around to playing it sometime soon. But in all honesty, I haven't played a game on my 360 in like 5 or 6 months now, so I'm not too certain when I'll be getting around to the 360 again, considering I've been spending a lot of time playing Final Fantasy XIV lately on my PS3. Anyways, that's what I got. 4 more DS games and 1 more loose disc 360 game. So 5 more games for the collection. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website. They're all linked in the description below. And that's it. See ya.